Mary Milner McCullough, smoked oysters. It's been a number of years. I started with a very, very short scene between Arnetta, the wife, and Ulysses, the husband, years ago. It was about 5 pages. And I just put it aside because I couldn't figure out why they were behaving the way they were behaving, and then picked it up again in Play Lab. After maybe one series of Play Lab classes, I think it became that. It became very clear what was happening to the father. I remember distinctly what came first. He got lost and wouldn't leave the house. And that was a bone of contention between him and his wife, why he wouldn't leave. So to answer the question in terms of why was he behaving the way he was behaving, and then he was getting progressively worse in terms of his behaviors. I think that's when I began to think that he either has some sort of dementia or Alzheimer's. And since I had some experience with this in my family, my brother-in-law, and a couple other friends who are either going through dementia or at the beginning stages of Alzheimer's. I am very excited and of course anxious at the same time. I think those are two appropriate emotions to be experiencing. I want it to be well received, like most playwrights. I want people to leave thinking about the situation that's covered in the play, and I guess learning more, exploring this issue in terms of health and where we are in our worlds, and who might be having to deal with this in their own families or in their households. Those are some of the things I want people to leave with, and I want people to understand that there are moments that you can enjoy and laugh and be with the person who is going through, who has this disease. It isn't always a struggle. You don't have to always be upset and angry. There's a kind of acceptance that can happen, and I've experienced people fighting with the person who has Alzheimer's, when really what they need to do is just accept this is where they are at this time, and there's nothing you can do about it. Those kinds of things I would like people to leave thinking about, I think. I wrote this for a Black audience, and I wrote it for, it's a Black family, and that's the family I wanted to write about. But I do know it's a disease. It doesn't matter who you are, where you are in your life, what your economic or racial background or ethnicity is, that it strikes, and it can strike anyone. I feel great about it because I think the venue is located within what is known as a Black community, or community of color, and I'm pleased about that. I think it's great that it's going to be open on Martin Luther King Jr. Day. I hope people will be looking for something they can do, and this is something they can do on that day. I think it's as finished as I can do right now. This is the story. I mean, it is the story I wanted to tell. So that's, as far as I'm concerned, it's finished. I think it is a story that will resonate with the actors. I already know that it does, after the discussion of the first read through, people started sharing stories of their own experiences. And being people of color, it resonated with me with the playwright and made me feel like, oh, I've done the right thing. Sometimes when you write a line and then you say it, the saying of it doesn't come across as the way you intended it in writing it. So I've asked them to pay attention to any lines that they find hard to say. I'm excited about the rehearsal process. At first I thought, okay, do I go to every rehearsal or do I pick and choose? And my husband, who's been in theater, said, as a playwright, do not hover. Let them do their work, trust the process. So I'm choosing to go to certain rehearsals, and I'm happy about that, to sort of back out off and let them own the script in their own way.